It's the most wonderful time of the year to re-listen to Christmas episodes of Adventures in Odyssey. It's that time again! Time to break out the candy canes, hot chocolate, and of course, listen to the great Christmas specials that AIO has made over the years. I listen to a lot of Christmas stuff from other radio dramas, but AIO remains my go-to place for some really classic stories that never get old. Today, I'm going to share with you my top 10 favorite Christmas episodes from Adventures in Odyssey. Keep in mind that this list isn't fully cemented yet. It'll probably change in the years to come. Let's get started. Number 10 on the list is Uncheck the Halls. This is one of the funniest Christmas episodes that AIO has made. The family interactions and the hilarious lines are a real treat. Although this story might be quite dated in a couple years, it still speaks to the fact that our holidays have changed quite a bit, not necessarily for the better, with everyone using their phones all the time. Hold on just a moment. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, this is the second Christmas episode we've had with the Parkers, and I'd say it's the best of the two. It's definitely better than Grandma's Christmas Visit. Don't get me started on that one. On to number 9, Caroling Caroling. I've heard some people say that they don't like this episode very much. That's probably because they've only heard the very condensed version that was made for radio. The original version was nearly an hour long, and had a lot more scenes and songs in it. We get to hear Whit singing part of White Christmas, Eugene singing seasonal felicitations, and even Bernard joins in on a song. Although this show mostly has kids that aren't actual characters in Odyssey singing, the times when our beloved characters get to sing makes this special show a real treat. At number 8, we have The Star, parts 1 and 2. I actually heard this episode for the first time before I heard Back to Bethlehem. Because of this, it was a little bit difficult to get into the story because I didn't know about Connie and Eugene's last adventure. However, it didn't stop me from enjoying the story. I loved hearing about this aspect of the Christmas story that we don't hear much about. It brought more depth to that part of the Bible for me. This episode has some really good scenes, especially the one where Connie gets to hold baby Jesus. Next at number 7 is Christmas Around the World parts 1 and 2. I don't think I knew much about this one until I found a tape of it at Goodwill. The original case didn't come with it, but it said Adventures in Odyssey on it, so of course I got it. It was the original Split Tracks album, Joy to the World. After this musical album came out in 1994, it was aired on the radio in 1996, but in a 2-part format. I haven't heard those versions yet, but I'm glad I have the original. This show is a great way to find out where a lot of our popular Christmas songs came from. And it gave us a full Imagination Station program with Tom Riley in it. Number 6 is A Christmas Conundrum. This is one of those nice, quiet, comedic episodes, but also has a really great message that speaks to us as we try to find that perfect gift for someone. FYI, it's probably not a cheese basket. The episode could have ended right after the gift exchange, and it would have been a good episode. But it was made even better because it ended with Eugene giving away his Christmas gift to Grady. It showed that Whit's speech was taken to heart. Now we have number 5, Silent Night. This is quite possibly the best Christmas Odyssey episode that isn't a historical one. The idea that our beloved Whit has to spend the holiday alone is a real heartstring tugger. The flashbacks to past Whittaker Christmases and getting to hear from Janet again made this an instant classic. However, learning more about Lester makes me wish that they had used his character a bit more. Moving on to number 4, I have The Visitors. I think that this is one of the very first Christmas episodes of Odyssey I ever heard. The Visitors kind of acts like a sequel to Peace on Earth, because it shows us another Barkley Christmas that puts them out of their comfort zone. After I first heard it, it took me a while to realize the importance of the second family, and that the first family was actually trying to lead the Barkleys to a real family. Now that I'm older, I can better understand and appreciate the depth of the plot. This episode could be argued to be the very first time that an angel visited Odyssey, long before Malachi. Coming in at number 3 is Unto Us a Child is Born. This one is a really good episode. The episode ties up some loose ends from some storylines like Eugene and Katrina's relationship and Mary Barkley's pregnancy. However, it does stand out very well on its own, even if you haven't heard all the previous episodes. There are so many funny moments along with some very touching ones. From the ad-libbing on the radio when Mary starts going into labor, to the too late I love you from Eugene to Katrina. All of this comes together for a perfect blend of awesomeness. Getting near the end, we have number 2, Gifts from Magic Guy. For being the very first Christmas story from AIO, it holds up very well. This is probably the most quoted episode in my family, especially Ethel's
"No problem."
Almost every time we hear it, somebody quotes something from it. Sometimes almost all of it. It's just so much fun. I'm very excited to hear the sequel to the story in next year's BTV Idolatry, especially since Chris Anthony and Will Ryan are reprising their roles. And for number 1, Back to Bethlehem, parts 1 through 3. There's no counting how many times I've heard these episodes. I've said before that there's not been a 3-parter on Odyssey I didn't like. Back to Bethlehem was the very first 3-parter AIO ever did, and I'd say it's definitely one of the best. It shows the nativity story in a much more real way that so many other adaptations of this event don't do. There's also so many funny moments. Like when Eugenius gets Connie a job at the inn, and Judah and General Lucanus trying to win Connie's affections. The ending with Eugene crying and Whit reading from Isaiah was just a perfect ending to the show. Back to Bethlehem is truly one of the best episodes Odyssey has ever made, Christmas or otherwise. Well, that's it for this video and for my releasing videos in 2017. Thanks again for joining me today as I once again talk about one of my favorite things, Adventures in Odyssey. I'd really love to know what your favorite Christmas episodes of Odyssey are. You can post your list of favorites in the comments section. I want to say thank you to you and everyone else who's watched, liked, commented, and subscribed to my videos this year. You have made the first year of Odyssey Geek a great one. I'll talk to you all again next year. Merry Christmas!